All right, Swanee, we're back.
We are back.
Welcome, everyone, to Rod and Flagon, where I, Oliver Redboots, sorcerer, and my compatriot...
I am Swan Maulsmith, the safety officer of the Temple of Gond. Praise Gond.
Praise Gond, indeed. We offer you advice and our tips and tricks, and frankly, now it's just gotten to the point where it is telling everybody about our life stories and day-to-day events.
This has become a bit autobiographical, that is true.
I know. Well, I mean, I hope that's what the magistrates actually had in mind. They knew... They know both of us very well.
True.
They know we're not just going to be like, oh, just take gold with you when you go to do the thing. Like, they know we're going to make this a bit more of a narrative.
We're talkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have been called many things. One of those was verbose.
Verbose.
So I just want to say a quick shout out to the Swede brothers for last week's amazing podcast.
That was very enlightening.
Where we discussed lots of things. I don't know if we answered a single question in that time.
That's all right.
I think people are going to come away from that and will be like, what the hell was that? And they have Dungeon Con, mate.
Yeah, we gotta go.
I think we have to be able to figure out a way to
First
get there.
of all, astral plane. Oh,
I know, right? It's delicious. It always smells like cinnamon and oats. It's really weird there. People don't like that's a thing. There's a tip and a trick. Adventurers, you'll know when you're in the astral plane if you smell cinnamon.
Yeah, it's a very different high than when you go to Undermountain. Get hit with a mushroom.
I guess the floating also helps.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, but you know what we should talk about? We should talk about the after. Like, we got so hammered after that show with him. Whew, I haven't been that hungover in a long time.
I know. I'm not getting a little old, but
I got absolutely nothing done the next day. And I do want to say thanks.
Next day, it was a whole weekend for me.
Are you at the point of our lives where we have 3 and 4 day hangovers?
Really? Yes.
I actually, shout out to Potion Crate because I went home and I just started taking random potions.
Oh God, I completely forgot.
Dude, it was amazing. So they had a new delivery when I got home the next day, right? I didn't get home till the next day, by the way. Somehow I ended up on the rooftop.
I'll be honest with you. I don't remember how I got home.
Yeah, I was on the rooftops in the dock wards. Apparently I slept there. There was a bird had nested right next to me, or I had just decided I was going to sleep next to a bird nest.
Could be.
Whatever. I got home, brand new box of potions, right? Cracked it open, and I don't even know what I took.
You're just mixing things.
I was just mixing around. Yeah. So I took, that one with the toenail.
Yeah.
I told you last week. I drank it.
Okay.
You know what it does?
No idea.
It made me incredibly strong.
Really?
Yeah, no, dude. Like, I went out later on, and I was just cracking boards.
So is hungover and strong what you want to be?
I don't know if that's like a aspirational thing, but my God, it was fun.
Okay, sure.
Right? So, and it could not have been better timing, right? So I'm grumpy from a hangover.
Yeah, okay, listen.
I have super strength as much as a giant.
Okay.
And, like, all of the children around Trollskull Alley, where I stay now, are like cheering me on. They're bringing me new things to break. I was able to crack an egg, right? You know how hard it is to crack an egg in the palm of your hand? It's near impossible. I was able to do that, and we had a lot of fun. And guess who showed up?
Thud.
No.
Okay.
No, so if you got the JV squad, right? You had...
No.
Yeah, dude. They did. They sent a squad.
Oh, well, was that well-timed or what?
Not for them. I was already in a pissy mood.
Yeah.
Right? So, for those that don't know, a few weeks back at this point...
almost a month ago.
Yeah, the Zhentarim came to the Temple of Gond.
Yeah.
Where there are, 4 or 5 dozen extraordinarily strong mates swinging hammers all fucking day.
Yeah, if we're not out saving the world or we're not adventuring, typically they're in the forge and, swinging some good hangers. So, when you look around, lads are built. And not just lads, by the way.
And the Zent sent, the JV intimidation squad. Well, I got the varsity. I was almost fucking flattered. Look, I have some spindly arms, right? I'm older now, right?
Yeah.
I barely leave. I don't like using the magic as much as I used to because it's fucking unreliable at best, right? But then they show up when I'm already pissy. They interrupt the good time I'm having with the kids, and I'm incredibly strong.
Okay. Paint a picture. Just take me. I gotta live vicariously through the story.
I do have to admit that this group, they weren't soft looking. Right?
Okay, all right.
I mean, come on, man. How many years on the road did we spend?
20,
But
25?
Yeah, it's not fair. 5 or 6 of these rogues and roustabouts, I wouldn't even get out of bed for 4 of them. You know what I mean? Please. Yeah. They come at me at the alley, and I just imprisoned 3 of them from the jump. I was like, I don't like 3. You're standing way too close together.
Stand in the cage. Cage you can't say, boom, stay there.
So there's a spell, it's a force, a cage of force is created, and I did it with the bars just to f with them. Right?
Why would you do that?
Why wouldn't I? How dare you? You interrupt my good time?
Oh, yeah.
So and another thing, adventurers, listen to me very, very carefully. Never stand 5 or 6 feet from the next one of your compatriots. I mean, we generally refer to that as fireball formation.
We've not talked about fireball formation.
No, but like if you're standing within 10, a certain radius of your mates, and I decide to cast a fireball, you're all going to burn to death horribly.
You should act like everybody in the party has a virus, and you need to stay a good 10 feet away from everybody else.
Don't be an asshole. If you think you have the virus, stay 6 feet or more.
Stay at least 6 feet away. Don't be an asshole.
It's literally the bare minimum you can possibly do.
Seriously.
You f***s. So I immediately imprisoned 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right? And I was still a little drunk.
Yeah, okay.
Right? We're having a good time.
I'm living this.
And the kids are egging me on the whole fucking time. So I picked one of them up.
I am so proud. I can't even tell you.
Hey, I made a callback reference to your jump spell last week. I chucked one up on top of the roof.
Yeah.
And I told him to clean the gutters while he was up there.
Love it.
Yeah, I know. And then I turned another one into a newt because I forgot.
Changing it up?
No. I tried to turn him into a slug, but I think I was a little drunk.
Okay.
Still, and it just kind of happened.
I mean, 6 of 1, right?
He was a newt, right? And then the other one, I was just like, I want you to think that you're doing well, so I'll let you get a few shots in. And he did, right? And I think the point was made. And he said, I'm going to tell Manchun. And I was like, oh, no.
No. Oh.
Which Manchun? Which 18th of his... Which of the 172 clones of Manchun is coming now? Listen, you Zhentarim, no one's scared of you. You're very overrated. Sorry to take that to you.
Yeah, read the room, fellas.
So, and I just left. Honestly, I think the 3 that were in the force cage... They were there for like a day. I was tired, man. You don't come and try to intimidate me.
Kids can throw stuff at them.
In
it's
front
fun.
of the kids loved every minute of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Listen, if you're going to come to where we live, and you're going to try to intimidate people, then you should expect to be intimidated in return.
Yeah, I mean it can be a two-way street.
In front of the children, was that necessary?
No, not good.
So I get. Well, hey, there's a tip and a trick right there.
Yeah.
So we're already fulfilling our duty and obligation to the magistrates.
I love it.
We're talking about fireball formation, which is an indispensable tip and trick.
Yeah.
Don't stand next to your fucking mates if you enter like a room or whatever.
Super wide. Spread out.
Stay wide. Spread out. Get some space. You don't need to be like gravity ball. Sorry. So that was my day after our amazing time with the Swede brothers.
Wow.
Can you believe it? Huh. So what's happened? Anything happened in the forge?
A couple things happened this week. I was going to tell a story about my son.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So my son, Stormy, we talked about him before. He's actually named after my grandfather, Maelstrom. Smart kid. 13 years old.
I know you're about to tell. I love your son. He's an amazing kid. But can we just revisit that real quick for the people that don't know?
Yeah.
Your grandfather's name.
My grandfather's name was Maelstrom Maulsmith. Right.
And
we called him Stormy. Because Maelstrom Maulsmith is a
it's a bit of
a mouthful.
Yeah, it's tough to get through.
Yeah.
It's not bite-sized. Sorry. All right.
Smart kid. His forge work is coming along really well. Right? Spent some time in the temple. I've got no complaints, with him outside the house. But in the house, I mean, he's still a 13-year-old boy. Right?
I was incorrigible as a 13-year-old boy.
And there are challenges of
I had been kicked out of at least 5 wizard academies by that time.
Yeah. And my wife, the wizard, right? My wife, Lucy the
Lucinda,
wizard.
Right?
Yeah. So
very powerful wizard, and for those that don't know, she saved the world at least twice that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Probably.
But, we're kind of curious, right? We're not pushing him to be in the church. We're not really pushing him to be a wizard. He's got to find his own path.
You can always send him over to old Uncle Boots, and we'll take him down that sorcerer path.
I don't know if he has innate magic.
No?
I mean, I haven't seen it. It could happen still.
Well, we're going to stress him out a little bit, bring it out of him.
Well, hang on to your hat here, because I got a bit of the story. He's 13, and you know me. I'm a neat freak. I go by... It's been an ongoing thing with him. He doesn't keep his room particularly clean. Like he's 13 years old. His room's a disaster.
I mean, checks out.
Yeah. So I've been on him pretty good to try and keep his room clean, and I'm getting a 13-year-old response, and that's getting old. So Monday, I'm sort of coming out of this hangover. Monday morning. And
Monday?
Yeah.
You had a 2.5 day hangover?
Well, I mean, I didn't do much Sunday, but yeah. Don't judge me.
All right, dude. I'm sorry.
I get up. I go by his room. He's gone. He's gone for the day. His room's a disaster. I'm going to yell at this kid when he gets home.
He's 13, mate.
He's 13.
You don't have, like, some apprentices at the forge that can come clean your house?
I'm not going to have people from the forge come to clean my kid's room.
Why not?
That's
call it service to God.
No, it's not. That is service to a 13-year-old kid.
Same thing.
No.
Just don't ring the bell.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, so I got a home day. I'm putzing around the house, and I'm sort of waiting for him to come home so I can give him a talking to. I go back upstairs. It's like 4 p.m. I haven't seen him all day, but I go by his room again, and the room is clean, like ridiculously clean.
Did he pay his brother?
No.
I mean, that would be my first...
No, I mean, that's a good thought, right? Because they're knowing the two of them. But yeah, that he didn't pay his brother, but the room was clean. And I was like, that's weird.
Did Lucy use that invisible servant spell again?
No, because she won't.
No?
I mean, she's on the same page with me about this.
Right. But she can just prestidigitate the entire room clean in a moment.
But I mean, what's the lesson in that? So
the lesson is to fucking learn prestidigitation, man.
Well, okay, fair.
Make an unseen servant, little man. How did this wrong with you?
Well, okay, so hang on. Next day, same thing. Like the room's, it's sort of shocking how much of a mess this kid can make a room overnight. But next day, room's a mess again, and he goes off, and I go to work, and I come home, and the room is clean again. This seems weird. I'm asking Lucy, she doesn't know.
Your wife did not know.
My wife didn't know how the room got cleaned.
She literally knows every single thing I've ever asked her.
I'm pretty sure her mom, like, she's got this big meeting coming up where she has to be in Silvery Moon. She had to be in Silvery Moon later in the week. And she was presenting to the magistrate in Silvery Moon, so she got other shit going on.
Yeah, Illustrial in Silvery Moon. For those who don't know, Illustrial is the leader, the ruler of Silvery Moon. And from what I understand, Lucy and her are good friends.
Yes.
Right.
So anyway, she doesn't know. I'm sitting down, doing some paperwork, and all of a sudden I hear this sort of like scratching, walking across the floor, and I look over, and I was scared out of my nut, because it just completely freaked me out. There was this little wooden thing sort of walking across the floor. It was built out of like scrap wood and Jenga blocks and like a back scratcher and like what the hell is this? I sort of get it secluded, and then I did a sending to Lucy, so she came down.
Wait a minute. You send to your wife while
I don't do that very often, but when you have this random thing walking through your house you don't recognize, yeah, I was like, what the heck?
Right now, Lacey, I need you downstairs.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. God damn, that must be convenient.
Yeah, well, yes and no. It's a wooden golem. It's a tiny wooden golem.
Did you make it?
I did not.
Did Lucy make it?
She did not.
Hold up. Stormy made his first golem.
Stormy made a golem.
So
Lucy...
that's what's been cleaning his room?
Yes.
There it is.
Lucy had been working on something, and left a couple of her books open while she was doing some research.
Wait, she has a manual of golems?
Well, she's got spell books.
Dude, share the fucking wealth, man. Can I check that out?
You think maybe? I don't know. I can't promise you.
Yeah.
Books.
Well, there was that time with the cipher of the Codex of Infinite Planes. Tell her I'm sorry about that again. She's never gonna loan me any more books.
No.
Fucking hell.
No.
I'd really like to get my hands on that. I could use a golem. So your son, took a book, and he made a servant from that book that he uses now to clean his room.
Yes. So,
do you think that's part of? Is he on track to be a domesticator?
Well, all right. So we had
just learned about those. He's like, last week.
There are, you have to understand, there were rules in my house for children, right? Because obviously my wife brings some of her work home.
Don't use magic unattended.
Yeah,
this should be a big one.
Should be a big one. Stormy came across one of her books while he was doing something and was like, I have a plan. And he managed to make himself a tiny golem.
I feel like you should reinforce his behavior.
Well,
like this is definitely Gond type. Well, so, I mean, come on, man. It's not about stealing your thunder. Everybody knows that if your son made a fucking golem, with first time, right? There's no way. There's no dude. Did you hear the bell?
No, I didn't. I didn't hit the bell.
I bet you he did.
Okay. So I was like, this is you have to have the stern talking to because you can't be reading mom's magic books. And then you're right. I was like, this is pretty cool. This shows a lot of innovation. This is very...
It's really hard to come down hard on a
It really was. It really was.
Well done, lad.
Smash cut to this morning, and I'm sitting at the table, and this little wooden structure brings me over some juice, and... So now we have a golem.
You have a home golem.
Yeah.
That is make it.
I'm not going to lie. My mind has been going
why haven't we been doing this our entire life?
Kinda. Maybe we should make these for other people, too. We
go
into the tiny golem business.
It's like this golem makes you coffee.
Yeah.
This golem turns your bed down at night and warms up your
whatever. Brings me an ale. Like, I'm in.
Hang on. You know there's a darker side to this, right?
Well, that's the piece we have to sort of.
You don't want to make because he's 13, soon he'll be 16, and you don't want him making. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah, let's not go there.
I'm sure he'll listen to the show, and I want to give him.
No, please don't.
Make a golem that is specifically set aside. Never mind.
Don't.
So he made a golem. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. You got to be a little proud, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, mad at him.
The machinations were a little crude, and frankly, I started drawing out how we could make version 2.0. But
so now you've taken it, and you're going to make another one. Well, listen,
I'm not committed to it yet, but I'm thinking.
Well, if you're going to make a few, can I, throw one over to old Uncle Boots' house, and I could use it.
Do that.
Because I live in an asshole, if I'm being honest. I use prestidigitation to clean it up because I'm incredibly lazy.
It needs a name. The tiny wooden golem needs a name.
The little guy?
Yeah.
Did you have something in mind?
I don't. I thought maybe we could open it up to people, like if you want to send us a bird with the name proposal.
God. Yes, what should we call Stormy, Swanee's oldest son? What should we call his golem that cleans his room and does all of the chores around the house?
Yeah. So
please send a bird.
Send a bird to Rod and Flagon.
Or to me.
Or to
Oliver Redboots.
Or to S. Smallsmith, which suddenly feels very appropriate. I don't know.
I mean, come on, man. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's finally coming into his own. Maybe he'll be a high-ranking priest of Gone like yourself.
Could be.
Could be. Aspire to maybe take to the open road.
I don't know. I mean, he's still only 13. But, I mean, he did sort of come up in the lifestyle, right? We do have a lot of guys that go out on the road after they finish their residencies in the Forge.
I mean, well, I'll still be around in 30 or 40 years when he's, an adult adventurer. Maybe I'll have these conversations when he's your age.
Could be.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm done with the road, but, be interesting to be like, oh, yeah, tell me about your stories.
Yeah.
Your dad used to sit there, and we could have that, my dad has big shoes to fill, all that nonsense. I think there's one shoe, actually.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, man. We got to talk about it every now and then, right?
Yeah, every now and then.
All right, so what's else going on? Anything else cool at the Forge? I had a job this week.
Oh, go on.
No, I had to work a birthday party.
All right.
So, you know about the Filans, the noble family in Waterdeep?
Yeah, sure.
So for the young adventurers who don't know, the Filans are a noble family in Waterdeep, and they're primarily, they're big funders of adventurers. So they capture monsters. They like to, they're really into.
They're very generous, yeah.
Yeah, and whatnot. Though I had a birthday party, and for once, none of the magic went crazy.
Nice.
All they did was hire me to do, a few fireballs at sunset, a few basically they just wanted a celebration of the heavens. And there was a bunch of our old compatriots there. Thud was there with his new wife, and
nice.
And do you know that fucker has 8 children?
Wow, he's been busy.
Yeah, it hasn't even been that goddamn long.
The twins or triplets or
they were 4. He had what is it when you have 4?
Quadruplets.
He had quadruplets and 2 sets of twins.
Wow.
And they all look exactly like them. And they're all I think the
do any of them have ears that just go around ripping each other's ears off?
I was like, could you imagine having 7 sons and 1 sister, right? And all of they just fighting and doing all the craziness. I couldn't even imagine it.
I feel bad for whoever's going to date that girl.
Don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I'm sure she'll be lovely. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
All of her brothers are going to kick that guy's ass.
And your dad is also one of the most fearsome
Be a
artists.
nerd that needs to work far away. That's my recommendation.
Wait till she goes away to, wizarding school in, Silvery Moon before you even bother to talk
Seriously.
to her. Because, god damn, could you imagine coming into that house? Oh, I want you to meet my family.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my 8.5 tall dad.
Yeah.
What's his name? Aloysius. Called me Thud. Oh,
You're the Thud girl?
You're the Thud? You're the Thud's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, my god. That's a lot of pressure,
And suddenly I have to go.
Yeah, right. Some little... And could you imagine if that one's not, very, beefy? Right?
Yeah.
He says, a narrower lad, right? You come into that house where, couldn't even imagine. Yeah, so I actually got paid from it.
Nice.
It was the first job that I've had in ages where it was boring.
I mean, boring's good.
I mean, I think that's the universe making up for the Zhentarim trying to come and shake me down.
You think the universe paid you for the job? Made sure you get paid because you were...
I really do think... or maybe the Gone thing is coming back to the thing,
Yeah, whatever.
As a tip. But, I guess that's another tip. If you're in Waterdeep, you should really look up the Filans.
Yeah.
They'll always have monster hunting jobs, right? They're very generous people. And by and large, decent. Which, nowadays, is almost a rarity.
Yeah.
All right, is that time again? We should go freshen up our drinks?
It's about time for the fresh ale, so give us a couple of minutes, everybody. We'll be back, and we'll talk some more stories and give some more advice.
Yep, all right, stick around. All right, we're back, Swanee.
We're back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rod and Flagon. I, of course, am Oliver Redboots.
I am Swan Maulsmith.
Hey, man, please send us your birds. We'd love to answer the younger adventurous questions out there. At Rod and Flagon, if you send our birds to that. At Smallsmith.
At Smallsmith.
Yep, and at Oliver Redboots. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. I feel like we cover a lot of ground on here, but like every now and then I'd like to tailor, our tip and or trick to what the audience would think we need. And shout out to all of our listeners in Red Larch and Silvery Moon and Neverwinter. Hey everybody. I hope you're enjoying the show. And
yeah, and if you're listening from those places next week, come back and bring a friend. Tell your people.
Yeah, tell some people. Get them to wear it out.
We actually have a question.
We do?
We do.
We should probably talk about the fact we don't have a sponsor first this
We
week.
don't have a sponsor.
So we're just going to shout out Uncle Willie again.
Uncle Willie.
If you're in Waterdeep and you need any type of potion or a spell component, sorry, or whatever it is you need for your alchemical pursuits, go see Uncle Willie. He's in the trade ward. You can't miss him. He does a fabulous shop. Friend of the show. And if you're there, last week I heard the brothers were in town. The Scroogemans. Did you hear about that?
Oh, those brothers.
Yeah, not the Sweet brothers. Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse.
Oh, yeah, I was confused there.
So yeah, the Scroogemans were in town last week as well. We missed them. Rudy and Quentin, who are our old friends, friends of Uncle Willie's. They were in town last week.
I'm sad. We would have had them on the show.
Would love to have had them on the show. And so that's as you get older and your adventuring parties, break up or whatnot. Sometimes we just use whatever success is. Sometimes you just, whatever that thing was that was threatening the realms, you're able to solve it. Or sometimes you're not, and you just go about your business. And that's just one of the things that, sometimes adventuring parties break up. They break up before they should. That's another good tip and trick. So send us your birds. And shout out to Uncle Willie. And you have a question.
So this is actually very well timed, right? Because this happened to us when we were adventuring with the Scrooger brothers.
Dude, a lot happened to us. I was drinking so heavily back then.
Ah, well. Okay.
Can we just talk about... So, Quentin...
Okay.
Was he a rogue or a cleric? Or a cleric rogue? A roguey cleric?
He was a cleric of mask, I thought.
Ah, that's right. Ooh, the shadowy god. He'd be so mad at me if he heard me talking shit. But come on, man. You're basically a rogue. Just be a rogue. You're just a rogue that has to pray. That's really... If you worship mass, that's really all you are.
Hey, man. He still patched you up a couple times. I mean, don't pee in the well.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't appreciative of mass services from time to time, but we all know what was happening behind the scenes. Do you remember at night when he would commune with Mask and he would think he was off slinking in a corner and we could all hear what he was wishing for?
It was a weird time. I'm not going to lie.
All right, so what was this question?
Dear Rod and Flagon, like the show. Thank you. We were adventuring and came across an immovable rod.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
One of my favorite things.
We came across we were in a dungeon and came across a room where an adventurer had died but activated the immovable rod before they died.
All right, so I guess we should preface this with a brief description of what an immovable rod is for those who might not know, right? An immovable rod is, well, I guess it's basically just that, right?
It's a rod that you can stand in a specific place and activate if you know how to activate it, and it will...
It stays there.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. You can hang from it, you can hang things from it, and it will just hang in space. Right? It's not, one of the funniest things to do is if someone's coming out of the privy, you put an immovable rod right about forehead level, and they bump the head on the rod. Ha, everybody has a great joke.
Or you put it in front of the door to the privy, so they're stuck in the privy.
That's also a great one. Yes,
right?
You can use it as a trip rod. There was that time that our friend Apples on Snow, he put that on in someone's the crease of the thigh.
Crease of the hip while they were meditating. They couldn't get up.
Brilliant. Right. So immovable rod's highly underrated piece of treasure.
They wanted to take the immovable rod with them.
Okay.
But they didn't know how to deactivate it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So people that don't know, there's usually a switch or a magic word of some type of incantation.
Right, so they want to take it with them. They didn't know the magic word. A question they had, and remember, we did this. Can you take your bag of holding and grab the rod with it and take the rod with you that way? And the answer is...
The answer is yes, you can.
Yes, but there are consequences, right?
Well, yeah. Oh, God. So this happened... I see why you're bringing this up. This happened very specifically to my bag of holding, because I am a known greed pig when it comes to treasure.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things I love about you.
Yeah, well, so I just draped my bag of holding over the immovable rod. It worked.
Yeah.
Right? We left the dungeon.
Yeah.
Right? We got back into the town where there was a celebration for our heroism.
Yeah.
I reached into the bag thinking I would be able to either, like, find the rod and grab it and then move my bag around it. And I just started pulling out.
Yeah, what we figured out was that the immovable rod breaks down the barriers between the pocket dimension of that particular bag of holding and other pocket dimensions of other bags of holding.
Yeah, so do you remember what I pulled out?
Oh,
it was the phylactery for a fucking lich. He was like a red wizard, right? He was like one of those Thay guys.
Yeah.
So I pulled. Oh God.
Man, they were not happy in town when you did that.
No, and a simple sorry. We did not mean to find your thing.
By the way, we attracted this red wizard lich to your town because he wants this thing back.
Yeah, well, of course he wants the thing back. It costs a lot of money and it's a lot of effort to craft another thing, right? And of course he's a necromancer, so he's not actually going to do the work again, right? He has to be like, I'll just go terrorize the people of that town until they return my phylactery. So, that's the story of when Swan and I had to slay a lich.
Yeah.
Oh, should we tell people about that?
Yeah, why not?
Well, you don't think that, like, is there like a, you think the red wizards have like a certain time period that they're allow one of their powerful liches to die before they'll come?
I don't know if their union is as strong as it used to be.
Probably not, right? And they're so far away. Even if they were to hear this, like, it'll take them months to get here.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, let's just face it, they're all wizards, so they're probably reading, probably brooding in some corner, right? And they're all most of them are necromancers anyway. So it's like, what, are you gonna send a zombie after me? Ooh, scary. Off. All the way off. Hey, red wizards! I stole one of your phylacteries by accident, and I regret nothing.
Yeah.
But to answer this person's question, it's a tricky situation. It will happen, but it will fracture the delicate pocket dimensions in between bags of holding. Because a lot of people don't realize that there's really only one pocket dimension that is then separated into an infinite number of pockets.
Correct. Yeah. Now, another important note, right, about bags of holding. Bags of holding are not cold storage.
Yeah, this is a lesson hard learned.
Right. So if you come across somebody and you're like, oh, we found this bag of holding. Great. And then you're like, oh, I wonder what's in this bag of holding. And you start pulling out like rancid meat.
Yeah.
That's a bad day.
That's a terrible day. Also, if you store your dead compatriot in the bag of holding thinking that it will, like, keep him...
will not preserve your dead compatriots.
No, it will not. They will just rot inside that pocket dimension. And then when you think you're just going to be able to resurrect them, it becomes, like, entirely too difficult, right?
Yeah, no,
they've been dead for too long. There's not a lot of bits and pieces left. That's actually what happened to Baracus,
Oh, Barack. Oh, my goodness.
You remember him?
Yeah.
So Baracus was a friend of ours, and he was a gold dragonborn.
That's right.
Right?
He had this sort of mohawk thing going.
Right, and he was like always liked to drink milk.
Yeah.
And he had the wings and he couldn't fly.
That's right.
It was a weird thing. He was an odd bird. He was killed in a dungeon.
He was.
And his compatriots decided that they were going to stuff him.
They would not listen to us.
How the hell they got that big-ass guy into that bag of holding is another, like, I feel like...
I mean, it was a tight fit. It was like having a too small of a sleeping bag.
It's like 40 pounds of sausage in a 10-pound casing.
Yeah.
How?
Really? I mean, he was dead, so he didn't complain.
But I almost want to... I would kill for, like, an exhibition. Like, where, like, someone brings in a bag of holding and just get bigger and bigger things to stuff inside. It's like an ogre. All right, here we go, big guy.
Yeah.
Think of it, like, how do you get an ogre...
It's like a carnival show right there.
How do you get an ogre into a bag of holding? I guess one piece at a time? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they stuffed Baracus into this bag of holding. They brought him back. I think they brought him back to Waterdeep. Did they bring him back to Waterdeep? Doesn't matter. They brought him back and they remove him from the bag of holding. They lay him on the table in the whatever temple they were at.
That's right.
And the only holy person they had at the time was a druid.
Yeah.
Which should tell you all you need to know.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, revivify, right out. That wasn't gonna work.
It's one of my favorite spells.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but if you put him into somebody in a bag of holding.
That way past revivify.
Yeah.
That you're in raise dead or resurrect or reincarnate.
Reincarnate. I hate reincarnate.
Well, that's what happened to Baracus, man.
I know.
So they decided they were going to reincarnate him. You know what? This came back as a gnome.
Yeah.
Which,
a gnome. I mean, good for us, but.
I mean, it was hilarious. Like, listen, I'm not knocking the gnomes as a race, right? Like, they're amazing creatures.
Oh yeah, I love
awesome.
Gnomes.
By and large, most of them are fun to get along with. But if you're used to living your life as a 500-pound, he was a big
7'6",
lad.
500-pound gold dragonborn
with wings and the whole 9 yards.
Pick you up and throw you out like nobody's business.
And then all of a sudden, you're 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
you'd have questions too.
Yeah, that's mentally hard to get your head around.
It has to be. It's like, oh, you know how powerful I am right now, and then poof, noom. That's why I would just like, if I could give another tip or trick, right? It would be lean towards resurrect or raise dead, and kind of lean away from reincarnate.
Reincarnate makes no sense to me. Like, I just don't understand how that spell works.
Why? Just because it doesn't really bring you back? It just replaces the you?
But why? Like, magically speaking, isn't it so much easier to repair a body than it is to be like, you know what? I have a spare Aarakocra running around. I'm gonna stuff you in there.
I see what you're saying. So, like, I mean, it almost like stands to reason that necromancers would prefer. Why necromancers prefer raised dead and something like that as opposed to reincarnate.
Yeah, I mean, I think
and it would be a druid that have to do the most of the reincarnating, right? Because they have everything they do is so fucking extra.
It's like they're trying to make themselves more woodland friends, right? There's no rhyme or reason. Like, you and your adventuring companion, like, 2 of your adventuring companions die, right? And then get across some magma, and they both fell in, and it's tragic, and so you sort of fish them out.
You got pieces of them left.
You got pieces of them left, and you're like, oh, man, I gotta do something. And if, like, they both turned into Aarakocra, you're like, well, okay, they sort of look like drumsticks. Like, I can sort of see the logic there. But one of them brings back an Aarakocra, and then you have an orc. Like, what is the logic?
I don't believe there is any logic in it. I think it's just random. I really believe it's random. I think that's just how reincarnate works.
The other thing...
If you guys can't see it, Swanee, every time we bring up druids, Swanee just gets a little annoyed.
Look,
I don't think he hates all druids.
I don't. I mean, as a child, I was not a big fan of druids because, we sort of made fun of druids from the Forge, if I'm completely honest.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't imagine why not. You work in a hot, steamy factory all day.
With
right?
metal.
With metal,
right.
And then you got this thing just flitting about in the woods and dancing with trees and shit.
Right.
It's kind of like one side of the coin versus the other side of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, we're not enemies, but we're like, I don't get that guy.
Yeah, you're never going to understand each other. Like, a druid would never understand exactly why you would want to dwell in a city.
No.
Most of them, or at least the ones that don't work in, like, the groceries establishments and whatnot.
And entire foods?
Yeah, and bring in all of the foods and whatnot. Yeah.
Right.
I get why they like to keep them down in golden fields now.
Yeah.
Because we need them down in golden fields.
Yeah.
Someone's got to talk to those treants.
Yes.
And all of the apple trees and whatnot.
Exactly.
Because I'm not f***ing doing it.
No. I mean, it is perfect work for a druid.
Yeah, so I guess, to answer, did we answer that young adventure?
Yeah. You can do it. Just be careful. There might be some side effects. Like, some of your stuff might wind up in a different pocket dimension. Somebody else's stuff from a different part of the pocket dimension can wind up in your bag of holding. Like, it happens.
It happened to us. Pocket dimensions, in and of themselves, are very strange. I've banished things before, right?
Yeah.
Like, you banish them to a pocket dimension. And, like, I wonder if there's a way for one pocket dimension to be, like, to have another way to another pocket dimension.
Like, I'm sure.
Like a pocket in a pocket? That's very, that's kind of meta, huh?
I mean, you had that spell, it was, with the rope.
Well, yeah, okay, so we do rope trick, right? I do the rope, and we can climb up the rope, and we can sit in that pocket dimension.
And then your bag of holding still works inside. Like,
yeah, I'll never understand how that happens. We were inside a pocket dimension, and I had another thing that had a pocket dimension inside of it.
And the universe didn't collapse, so far so good.
What happens if I would banish you while we were in the rope trick while I was holding a bag of holding? It hurts my skull even thinking about it.
Yeah. This is why I pray to a higher power. Can I have the thing? Yes, good, we're good.
So you know those holes, those so for people that don't know, there is a type of magic where you can get like just a hole, and you can move that hole about. Right?
Okay.
So if you put a hole on top of a bag of holding, it will create a massive explosion.
It will.
Yeah. So and I've done it just out of and giggles from time to time because I thought
we did it from
funny.
a safe distance because we knew things were going to go sideways.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you got to experiment, right? You're in a new dungeon. We're like, hey, let's do something a little silly. Look at that. Oh, there's an ogre down there. And if you we get to the point in our adventuring careers where you slaying an ogre, it just feels. I don't know, it feels like mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
It feels like cleaning out the gutters. You're like, he's down there terrorizing. All right, I guess so. It gets boring. So, you start, all right, what if I send this unseen servant holding this hole and holding this bag of holding? And
let's see if we can pants this ogre.
Yeah, I was like, listen, we might be very powerful adventurers, but also, we were kids at heart.
You got to have some fun.
Right, you don't always have to make it the job so jobby.
Yeah.
Right? Any
You
other
can love
questions?
your job.
Any other questions? That was pretty good.
No, there were, sir, and sort of, I wasn't thrilled with them. But that's just one we had direct experience with, so I figured we knew, like, it wasn't going to, the other stuff I don't know that we did.
Well, then, you know what we should do? We should talk about phylacteries. I bet you there's a lot of young adventurers that don't know what a phylactery is.
We can talk about phylacteries next week.
Okay, we can talk about phylacteries. Well, fine. I didn't know you didn't want to talk about
all right.
No,
Okay.
Well, what else has got going on this week? Is there...
Oh.
Is there a festival?
Yes, there is. It is St. Darkfern's Day is this week.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. So a lot of people don't know. I really think this is your temple specific.
No. It's not my temple specific, but it is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's not just the Waterdeep sect of the Gon's Cleric?
No, I'm sure.
Darkferns?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess you should tell everybody about what St. Darkfern's Day is.
All right, so for context, we've talked about this a little bit. Like, Gon started off, Gon was a gnomish god.
Was, right? He
And then he
off
sort
that
of
way.
branched out. But, like, in the early days of following Gon, it was nothing but gnomes.
Was
right?
that because of the creativeness of, like, making the little contraptions?
I think in part, right? There was one of the earlier followers of Gon's whose name was Felfin Darkfern.
What was his first name?
Felfin?
Wait, St. Darkfern had a first name?
Yes.
And it was...
Felfin.
Felton.
Darkfern. Felfan.
I know. It's all the gnomish names always crack me up.
Yeah.
It's always like, Roger's Underbrush. All right, Rod.
He was really important to the Temple of Gon and sort of getting that religion off the ground, but he was, an interesting character. He had a particular fixation. This was eons ago, right? So keep in mind.
It wasn't with small golems that move about their home, was it?
No. He had a particular fixation with trying to build mechanical systems that would allow people to fly.
Okay.
Right? So wings, like things that we're a little bit more familiar with today.
All right, yeah.
But
So we probably take it for granted then.
Yeah. But then this was not a thing. So
I'm with you so far.
He had a particular fascination with seeing if he could get people to fly, and he would build these machines and try and get the gnomes to try them and work. And he had sort of very limited success, sort of not really any success, if I'm honest, getting gnomes to fly. But he got it in his head that the problem was gnomes didn't grow up sort of expecting to fly, right? There was just this sort of training of their upbringing that was lacking.
So there was no expectation of upward mobility.
Right.
Nope, that's the wrong way to put
Okay,
it. Let's see. For those who don't know, gnomes are little guys. Sorry.
Right. So if you, he got it in his head that we needed to get the next generation of gnomes comfortable flying.
Right.
So, and you're going to think I'm making this up, but I'm not.
Dude, half of the shit that you've told me over the years, it's hard for me to discern what's actual, religious text and what is you just fucking with me.
No, so this is straight from the text. I kid you not, they, at the 18-month mark for children, they would take children in this religious ceremony and they would, the family would be outside with a blanket and they would throw the kids out the window and catch them in the blanket. They get the kids used to the idea of flight.
No, you're fucking with me again.
I am not.
This is like the Turkey on Tuesday thing that you did for 12 years with me.
Well, that was hilarious. But this is St. Darkfern's Day is a real thing. Well, it's a real thing and sort of...
I've heard of Darkfern, but I didn't know about they just chuck... So is it only gnomes now, or do they do that with all the kids?
Well, this
so you're going to go home and throw fucking Stormy out your second floor window?
No, because Nomi's 13. This is like a younger, right?
So you've thrown him out the window?
Yes.
Say it. I want the world to know.
I have.
And Lucinda, she was okay with this?
Well, the nice thing about being married to a wizard, if things go sideways, she can just kind of be levitate.
Oh, I guess that's a fair point.
Right. But my nephews...
I know, but you've thrown your own children out the window and preparing them as for some future where may or may not be able to fly. And you wonder why I've always had a problem with
they do a lot of safety
cults.
blankets and all of the landing
I know,
gear.
but I just need to paint another picture for people. As fucking Swanee, you're the safety officer at the forge. You make sure that people don't get hurt. And the visual for me of you chucking your children out a second-story window, it fills me with such joy that I can barely contain myself right now.
I am a priest of Gon, and I hate this holiday. I hate it so much. So the other thing about this, by the way, is that, I don't know, because, we love gnomes, right? We've known a number of gnomes.
Oh, my God. There's some of them. One, they know how to party. If I'm being honest with you, if you want to have a good time at a party, you bring a fucking couple of gnomes.
Oh, man. Yeah. The thing about gnomish children, they're tough little bastards.
Well, yeah. But you have to be if you grow up in that kind of,
Well, no, I mean, they also, like...
If you're throwing them out the window, I feel like
they're tough. They're just built a little bulkier,
like
right?
survival. No, dude. Like, for everyone that did survive because they hit the blankets, there had to have been one that was dribbled, right? That one didn't quite stick the landing, so to speak.
The other thing, yeah, I mean, I imagine, but also keep in mind, like, we're humans, and the average floor-to-ceiling height is, like, 9 feet. But for gnomes...
It's like 6, barely.
Barely 6.
Yeah.
Right?
I
so
barely
humans have a lot further to go.
All right. Yeah, but you're human.
Yeah, I'm human, yeah.
Yeah, and you threw your kid out. So that's like a 15-foot drop.
I was thrown.
You were thrown?
As a child, yeah.
You never told me that. You were thrown?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So your parents chucked you from your...
I hate this holiday. I hate this holiday so much.
So, like, does it have to be the second floor, or can it be higher?
Would you stop?
I'm curious.
I mean, so, okay. Traditionally, it was off the roof, but all the houses were only 1 story.
So is there like a set minimum?
I don't know. Whatever it is, I would like to be at the minimum.
So that's why. Well, why did you just throw them from the first story? It was only like a 3 or 4 foot drop. That way, if they missed the blankets, no big deal.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not running this part of the ceremony, but I hate it. I hate it so much.
So what percentage of the acolytes come back to the temple the next day? The same as when they left the previous day?
All of them. Come on. We're not.
Really?
Yeah.
There's not even
I don't
one
know,
guy.
like, back in the day if that was the case, but, like, you know, we do insist upon certain precautions. It's supposed to be a fun holiday.
So
this is not supposed to be like an actual trial.
So please tell me that you had to do like some sort of safety brief before everyone went home.
Oh, God, yes. Gond, yes.
So you had to do like a Swanee style safety brief. So like, okay, everyone.
All right, this is the spacing I want, and this is the emergency exit.
I need you when you throw everybody out the second story window.
A couple of clerics over there on standby.
You have to have 3 people manning the blanket.
Yeah.
The whole fucking time.
Yeah.
It would like I just don't see your wife enjoying this holiday at all either.
Again.
Or does she just sit around with like fly spells, just ready to with people?
I think she's ready.
Cause dude, please, listen. I don't normally ask for much other than drinks and like occasionally let's go slay a powerful beholder. But like next year,
yeah.
Come on, man. There's one invite. Maybe you could chuck me out a window.
Do you want to come
and, like,
this year?
right before I land?
So it's my nephew's this year. Do you want to come this year?
I'll cast fly on myself and I'll fucking whiz about.
Oh,
like, praise God! Come on. Come on, dude. Just let me do it one time. Right. Also, we do need to talk about Beholder, but never mind. That's a next.
Well, you can. All right. Well, we'll talk about. We can figure out. I can invite you. I can invite you.
I would love to come and see you throw someone out a window. Because it just seems so antithetical to your entire existence. It seems exactly the opposite thing that I've ever would have thought of seen you do. Would be dude, I've had to talk you into throwing me over a pit trap.
I know. And
I reduce myself to like.
I'm supposed to be like, hey, look, I'm a priest. Like, I'm supposed to be bought into the partner. Like, I hate this holiday so much.
Well, I mean, I'm sure God appreciates that you dislike it, but you still go through with it, right? Like, there's still like, you don't need to enjoy everything.
It's part of being part of a community. Like, I mean, every community is going to have its quirks, and you got to kind of buy it. I hate this holiday so much.
I'm going to throw someone out of the second story window, and it's Saint Darkfern.
Saint Darkfern.
Oh my God! So did he throw someone out a window, or is that it's just the representation?
I don't think he had any children.
Like, no. It's like, hi, I'm pleased to meet you. I'm Felton Darkfern. How would you like to have children with me so I can chuck them out a window?
Exactly. The good news is, I'm pretty sure I can get your kids to fly.
I mean, briefly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the landing that might stink.
Yeah.
So next week, man, I may need you to come traveling with me. I know you typically don't like the road, but I might have to call in a favor.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Well, so apparently, our friends who run the cattle ranch just to the north of us, they're having some problem. There's a beholder that has taken over one of the temples up there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so I think they need us to kind of go up there and have a look and see what we can do. Maybe we can help.
All right, do some consult. You mean me to gear up?
I mean,
probably. I mean, if it's a beholder, you never can tell.
Yeah, I don't think it's like what. I'm hopeful that they just want to bring us in as consultants, because I really don't want to go and I can't fight another beholder. It's just so drab. It's like at a certain point it was fun and exciting, and now it's just like, oh God. If he looks at me, I can't really do anything for a few minutes. You know, it's kind of boring for me, right? But as long as he's not looking at me, he's kind of a pushover.
See if you get more of the toenail potion.
Oh God, so maybe I can. Dude, I could wrestle the beholder.
Oh, let's go see Uncle Willie. Maybe Uncle Willie can.
That's not a bad idea.
Right?
You think the potion would work if the eye of the beholder is actually looking at me? That's another?
We can ask Lucy.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't remember because it was usually so how you normally would fight the beholder is to get him to look at whoever the strongest,
the big eye.
Yeah, the big eye. Not the other 9 to look at the strongest fighter amongst you, right? That way, the other ones we can practice our magic.
Focus
on
the punchy guy.
Right? Yeah. And then sometimes it just gets so boring because if nowadays fighting the beholder is much simpler. It's a much simpler process, right? So we just confuse it by telling it there's another beholder in its lair, and they're so goddamn xenophobic they'll just look for that other beholder.
Yeah, or the goldfish.
No, dude, that's a very specific beholder.
Oh, okay.
That's Xanathar, and he's the one that runs their little thieves guild here in Waterdeep.
All right.
He's another guy, like a goldfish. I've had to babysit that goddamn goldfish many times.
That's right.
Right, yeah. So I guess that's enough for this week, and we'll bring up phylacteries next week. I'm hopeful we'll be on the road next week. Maybe we can do the show from the road. I think that would be fun.
And a flagon. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, it's your technology, so we can just take it with us wherever we go.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, I think that's it, buddy. I think this has been enough for 1 week, yeah?
I think so.
All right,
remember to send us your birds. Remember to tell some friends.
Just write something nice on those birds and send to us. Birds not guaranteed for return because Lucy makes a hell of a stew. I am at Oliver Redboots, and that is S. Maulsmith.
That's me.
And we will see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.